I'm Ryan Ward. I lead sales for AgentSync. AgentSync is onboarding producer lifecycle management system that also helps with licensing compliance, really helping organizations with growth that doesn't compete with the compliance on the back end. So all of that back end office infrastructure that those captive agents are going through to make sure licenses are updated, appointments are appropriately processed, and then of course the independent channel where every independent group is, the independent agent, right, is being sought after by every carrier. So how do you create a frictionless or world-class onboarding experience for those producers to set yourself apart that eventually leads to Zach's point around retention, right? Some of those problems, right, are just disjointed systems. You know, you guys know that at Guardian for sure, where, you know, all of this data that, you know, insurance companies inherently are collecting, probably more than anybody, maybe outside of financial services. How do we leverage that data? How do we put that data into a format that allows you to make real-time decisions, that allows you to provide insights into the business in real time? We're seeing that with our ability to bring in IPR data, to bring compensation data, to bring the agent experience, right, all under one kind of joint cohesive solution. And, you know, Tom's group at opensymmetry really is kind of the glue that helps stitch it all together, right? They can come in and help with, you know, how do we design a program? How do we design the workflows? How do we design how system A talks to system B? And then, you know, Zach and I on the vendor side are supporting with, you know, the more modern tech stack that probably historically insurance has seen. It's a great question. So AgentSync was built on the Salesforce.com platform. So we leverage Salesforce.com as our core platform. It does not mean you have to be a Salesforce customer. About 50% of our customers are currently on the Salesforce platform. We're starting to see that tick up, particularly in the enterprise. You know, Salesforce has officially broken into the insurance, the tier ones, right? Which took a really long time, but they're there now. They're there at Liberty Mutual. They're there at Guardian Life. And so our ability to leverage that platform and the API capabilities of Salesforce, you know, is really how we answer your question. Is what data do you want? Do you want it all to live in your existing Salesforce instance? Do you want certain data to be pushed from AgentSync into your Salesforce instance? Really, it's a kind of a choose your own adventure on how you want that to look. Your specific question around what does the agent see? The agent, our portal is oftentimes embedded into an insurer's platform that says, or portal that says, hey, get appointed with Liberty Mutual, get appointed with Guardian Life. And what happens there is, historically, the problems we've seen is that can take upwards of you know, 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks to get appointed with a carrier. You know, I was on site with a large tier one, and the head of distribution showed me from one of their largest distribution partners, large broker, and they showed all the carriers that they work with and how long it took them to be appointed. And it was, you know, a couple there, and, you know, a day, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, and the carrier we were sitting with was at 47 days. And so the problem they're trying to solve is,
I'll take 47 days. That's a win.
Well, the problem they're trying to solve, right, you know, if it takes you 47 days to appoint an independent agent, by the time that happens, they've taken that first policy somewhere else. The last part of that story was this distribution chart, unbeknownst to the customer who we were sitting with. Those first 3 carriers were all AgentSync customers. Nobody knew that. That just was it was a point of fact that we said, by the way, those first 3 that are under a week are all AgentSync are all AgentSync customers. One of the challenges we're hearing is the agent population is aging in a big way. You know, some say it's 60 plus years old is the average age of an independent insurance agent in this country, and we all know the agent's not going away. I think we disproved that over the last 3, 4, 5 years, where there was potentially this idea where the agent was going to go away, and I think that's probably come to. I think everybody's realized that that's not happening, at least not 5, 10 years from now. What are you seeing strategies for large insurers to attract somebody who comes out of college to be an insurance agent, or somebody who's transitioning in their life to be an insurance agent? What are some of the things that you're hearing that agent needs to see from that carrier partner or from that broker partner in order to feel good about that decision?
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to some podcasts where I've heard some brokers talk about recruiting.
Yeah.
They just go to the universities. I mean, they're just boots on the ground.
Yeah.
There isn't really. One thing we've been trying to think about is what's the digital approach. Mm-hmm. So can you do some look-alike modeling and use some third-party data sources that we have to, look at your high producers and find more people like them, mm-hmm. right? So that's one problem we're very excited about. Something we've done, we pitched a mortgage wholesaler.
Okay.
They have agents. They need to find more agents too. They have the same problem. So that's one area we're really excited about, is give us, your agent database. Let's see your top performers.
Yeah.
Let's do some lookalike modeling on that. That's something we feel like could really accelerate the agent recruiting process.
Yeah. And now you've taken somebody that you've gone and recruited out of college, right? Come become an insurance agent, and then you send them a PDF packet to email back and forth, right. And they say, "What the hell am I doing here? This isn't for me." And that's their first experience with an insurance company. When they thought, hey, maybe I'm onto something here. This sounds like a great career. My dad might have done it. My uncle might have done it. I know the guy who owns the State Farm office. And then I go to get appointed, and it takes me 48 days and 16 phone calls and a fax machine.
Right. To kind of bring it the whole life cycle, you can't understand how you actually get compensated.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're a very unique situation. It's W-2, but a lot of these people are 1099, so they need to really understand a clear line of sight of how the products impact the way that they have conversations. And most, everybody wants a package conversation, but someone's calling to make a change on a vehicle, and then you were like, oh, by the way, I see you don't have an umbrella, I see you don't have a life product placed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they really have to be incented to understand why to do that.
What I've seen at some of the top 5 insurers is they don't have that, individual level performance data on agents.
Yeah. And we can then grab that data, right, in the agent portal, the policy or the producer lifecycle management, and we can say, hey, these are the 50% of appointments that should be termed, right? And some of the cost savings we're seeing across these mass terminations of people who haven't written business for 12, 18, 24 months is absolutely significant. But again, it goes back to the data. Everybody's got the data. Where does it live? How do I action on that data? I think is the question. We see time and time again, appointments being renewed over and over and over again blindly.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Even though they say you have to write a minimum amount.
Right.
They don't have the wherewithal to.
Well, they don't have
get
the
rid of
insight,
it.
right? They
Yes,
don't have the
exactly.
production data
Policy
coming
admin
into
systems,
exactly
right.
multiple policy admin systems because of acquisitions, because of M&A, and yeah.
For sure.
It's an interesting problem. So our goal is to be a conduit, right, and to be agnostic in regards to the training vendor that our customer partners have chosen. So WebCE is our first, where they will come in and we will be able to tell you, is that agent ready to sell based upon license, based upon line of business, and then based upon any CE requirements that your specific business has built into that workflow. I think that's a great point. I think that's the genesis of this partnership, right? We saw that opportunity that nobody is an expert in both. And are we experts? Am I an expert in comp? Absolutely not. Zach probably more so on the front end compliance, but how do we start to get there? Right, and that's I think what we're working on with a handful of these joint products, which I know I'm really excited about.
I think good strategic partners are hearing this, and they're saying, how do we make that integration more seamless? Because you're seeing that trend across all kinds of technology stacks. And so for us, this has been a great partnership. That's why we work with opensymmetry, because we bring it all together to make that experience more powerful and robust.
And I remember a question you asked me at Accelerate. Ryan, how do I get a subject matter expert on my team around onboarding, licensing, and compliance, right? And I think, we're thinking the same way. Can we answer all the questions? No, but can we answer some of the questions when we have a joint customer? One day, guardian life.